Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahima wa ali Ibrahima innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahima wa ali Ibrahima fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Imam this Masjid, Imam Yara. Thank you for coming. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this conference, and may Allah bless ideas. We're going to share it with each other, inshallah. So now I will give you the Ustaz Ousmane to welcome you again, and also the more details you're going to give you, inshallah. The reason why we call you to share with ideas. This is generation after a generation. When it comes to the Islam, is the responsibility of each and every one of us. Somebody can be older than you, but when it comes to the Islam, your responsibility is the same. But you have to teach each others. We know more than each others. Imams maybe knows more than those who know the Imam. And also, you guys may know something also in the communities, in the environment, which is we don't know. So therefore, inshallah, we're going to share it with ideas. And the Ustaz, he went to the college here. He also had a more experience, more than I do. So inshallah, this is the reason why we call you. And all of us, we're going to share it with ideas, inshallah. Everyone say what do you think, what do you feel, and help us how we can fix this community and this society, inshallah. Thank you so much, Ustaz.
All right, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallim tasliman kaseera. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We thank everyone for coming in. It's a beautiful day. I know you all have something to do, but yet you still take some time of your life coming in, and which is pretty good. So this sitting is nothing based on, it's simply based on Islamic, life. As a student myself, I graduated from college here. I went to high school and I went to college, and I have my degree, alhamdulillah. But growing up here in this country, I experienced so many things in life, especially in college. So nowadays things are different now because there are a lot of Muslim, youth growing up. Back in the days, we didn't have much Muslims at all, but we were able to, create some of the stuff like an MSA and stuff like that, which help us, help the community to grow together. Inshallah, we're trying to pick your brain. It's not me to talk to you, but it's the other way around. You are going to tell us about your experience in college. What are the difficulties you are facing? The life, challenging that you went through, and how it affects your deen, your Islam, and how you're dealing with the community, those who are non-Muslims. So this would help us help you guys. So once you know your community, then you know what to do with it. So, and you are the ambassador of Muslim community. You come from Muslim background, you are Muslim yourself, but unfortunately, some of us lose their way. Once you go to college, you go through high school, some of us live Islam completely. And I hope that's not the case here. So some of us live as Islam, but yet we have to go and search them and bring them back to Islam. So whatever you experience, it's not going to take much. Whatever you experience, if you could describe it maybe within 3-4 minutes, that would be enough. And that way, that would help us address the Muslim community, through our youth. Because you are the tomorrow's, grown-up. This masjid will be yours tomorrow, inshallah. But if you don't have a good youth, it is as if you haven't started yet. So inshallah, that's the reason why we call you guys, to share your experience, what you're going through now, or what you went through in college, and what can we do to better the community. This is pretty much what we are here for. So inshallah, I'm just going to ask you, just present yourself, with 30 seconds. My name is this, I'm from this, and that's it. Just a few presentations. So he already presented himself. He's Imam Surah from this masjid. Alhamdulillah. And you?
Hello everyone, my name is Masdjid Toure. And okay.
No, just.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my first name is Lasne. My last name is Toure.
What? You went to college?
Yeah. Yeah, I went to college. I went to Kingsborough Community. I did 2 years. I graduated, and I went to Brooklyn College to get my bachelor's.
Alhamdulillah.
What did you get?
Information technology, IT.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdulaziz Toure. From Harlem. I graduated from BMCC. I'm currently in City Tech, pursuing my bachelor's in data analytics.
But now everybody in college though. If you don't, if you're not ready, just tell you. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good. All right. My name is Mohammed Yara. I graduated from SUNY Cortland with a degree in kinesiology.
MashaAllah.
My name is Said Traore, and I graduated in BCC. I'm currently going to Limit for sport therapy.
Let's talk a little louder.
My name is Sadia Silla. I got my bachelor's from Lehman College.
My name is Abdurrahman Jawara. I got an associate's in therapy recreation. I got a bachelor's in health administration. I'm currently in school at LIU.
MashaAllah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mohamed Toure, but you can call me Muhammadu. I went to SUNY Plattsburgh, and I got my bachelor's in business and accounting.
My name is Kariatu Sise. I'm going to Brooklyn College, pursuing psychology.
MashaAllah.
My name is Maymuna Kamara. I go to Hunter College and I am pursuing biological sciences. They're in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
My name is Khadija Kamara and I'm still in high school.
My name is Zainab Bane, and I'm going to be a senior next year in high school.
MashaAllah. Yeah.
All right. Shukran. Barakallah fikum. All right. Thank you guys so much for that beautiful introduction. So we only have a few questions, and anyone want to raise their hand and answer that question would be nice. Otherwise, I would pick somebody. You ready? All right. So what are the challenges? Anyone could pitch in. What are the challenges you guys are facing, whether in high school or college? What are the challenges? You could name as much as you can. Anyone want to go?
Zainab. Everybody talk a little louder, and then those who, yeah.
I think one challenge that I'm facing as a high schooler now, and I see that throughout my high school experience, is my mental health, really. Like, I have anxiety, and sometimes it get really bad, so I have like panic attacks and stuff like that, pertaining to like certain things in my life that brings me stress. So I think that's like a big thing that like happens. There's not enough talk about like mental health, especially within the community itself and outside of the community itself. So
Anyone else? What are the challenges you guys are facing in college, or you face it in college or high school? Muhammad.
At least in the college I went to, I didn't really have an MSA. There wasn't there wasn't a lot of Muslims at that school. So I guess that's one challenge, because I guess the things that you practice aren't things that majority of the college follows. So I guess it's difficult to, I don't know, someone to relate to in that aspect.
So you didn't have an MSA?
No.
All right. So how you guys pray?
I just pray by myself.
You pray by yourself. Okay. All right. Anyone else want to add it?
Yeah, so when I went to college, I graduated college in 2019. When I first attended college, that was my first time ever going away, being away from my parents, being away from everyone. Yeah, at first it was a challenge because, when I was used to my parents telling me I have to pray, and not me having to pray, go out and pray by myself. Especially the school that I went to a PWI, which is a predominantly white school institution. At that school, most of the, community was white. I had a couple of, like around 4% of the community was black, but a lot of them wasn't Muslim. So like the people that was Muslim, we try to stick together. We try to pray together and things of that sort. And I feel like that's the thing that helped me out in college. So when you go to college, just try to find a community that's that's for you, a community that will be able to help you out, and a community that will be able to help you find your deen. Because there's a lot of time it's easy for you to sit there and lose your way when you go to college. So yeah.
Very good.
All right. Anyone else want to add it?
Okay. Yeah. So. All right. Yeah. So for me, I did have some Muslim friends, but they weren't like practicing. So you can easily fall into that type of trap as well. So as he mentioned, he didn't have a lot of, but I did while I was in Kingsborough. A lot of my friends, they weren't praying, so I've noticed that. So I was just like, okay, we're all Muslim, but they ain't praying. So I was just like, okay, we're hanging out. But I was telling myself at the end of the day, I gotta pray. But you could fall for that peer pressure, just because they are a Muslim. If they aren't praying, you could think that's okay for yourself to not pray because we're all Muslim, we're all in this together. But you got to stand up and be like, you know what, all right, I do want to pray, because I know that for a fact that I had the thing on my phone, the app that would tell the prayer, and I let them know, like, hey guys, let's go pray, and they just wouldn't respond. So I was like, all right, I guess I got to do this myself. So that was the challenge, is me trying to like separate myself and be like, yeah, we're all like Muslim, but you guys don't want to pray, so I guess I got to go pray by myself. So you got to be strong enough to be like, that's okay if y'all don't want to do it, cool, but I got to do it for myself. So
you're saying many people are followers,
right. So they fall under that peer pressure to not just like be like, hey, these guys are praying, they just playing basketball, whatever the case may be, I'm just going to follow along with them. So because my college did have like a spot for Muslims to go pray, so that was also a good thing. I did have that one friend that was like, yeah, I'm going to go pray, because I noticed that he didn't want to like deal with any of that. I was like, you know what, he's actually doing the right thing. I want to be, let me follow him instead, because I knew, you feel bad about it. So that's something like I kept in mind.
All right. Anyone want to add it? All right. Okay.
You want to go?
Challenges, you said?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is still more challenging, but is there any way you guys face like any peer pressures from outside? The fact that they see you as a Muslim, do they give you a hard time?
I mean, my college experience, not really, because I went to BMCC. They have an MSA there, so they have Muslims there. So anytime it's time to pray, I will go there and pray. I'll be welcome there. So not really any peer pressure, to be honest. I would just do my prayer, and like with pride, like I didn't
Do you
really
guys
care.
pray Juma in BMCC?
I didn't pray Juma there. I was always pray Juma in the city because I didn't take classes on Friday, so I don't know. But I think they do. They told me that they do it over there too. So yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone face any other challenges? All right. So that's from outside. What about within yourself? Do you feel like sometimes you don't, you become lazy to pray, or sometimes you start thinking about Islam otherwise? Because sometimes some Muslim youth, sometimes they have this pressure as if Islam is true to begin with. Sometimes one of their friends will tell you, you're following religion, you even know what makes you think Islam is even true. Like you guys didn't come across with that kind of, because I know a lot of people become atheists as a college student. Like any of your friends or yourself or whatever you went through, such tough time.
I mean, I did have a few friends that were interested in Islam. Like they would ask like, how many times you guys pray a day? And I would give them like any answer I could or inform them more about Islam. So I had a few of those throughout my college years, people who was interested in learning about Islam and stuff. But I never really had like a debate or conversation with an atheist or anybody who didn't believe in Islam like that. Nah, I'll get questions and like curiosity, but nah, yeah.
Okay, anyone? You want to add it?
I feel like not. This is not with me in general, but like I feel like out of everyone, like in New York, I feel like most of the time we tend to. I had it in my head. It was like something small though, but we tend to.
I can speak it.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I'll let you know when I'm ready.
So while I was in college, I've had certain discussion about religion with certain folks. So what I've noticed is that a lot of time people try to lean on their own understanding. Like even though they're not practicing, we have conversation because they're not so sure what to believe. It's just that they try to lean on their own understanding about what they think certain things mean. So when we have back and forth, I'm like, I'm not a scholar, but you're saying this is what X, Y, and Z meant because you're doing certain research. I'm like, have you ever sat down with an imam and have these discussions? They're like, well, I can actually, go online or read a translation. I'm like, it would be wise to have conversation with somebody who actually practiced this thing and has a scholar, it's a scholar in this, so they can help you understand. Because sometimes people think that they actually understand certain things when it comes to like Islam. Even it happened to me before, but you have to really do talk to somebody who's a scholar so they can easily break it down for you, because they might be you to leaning on your own understanding can become detrimental to like when it comes to Islam and your belief in it. So I have these discussions with some of the students, and I try to tell them like, hey, we could talk about this all day, but I don't know certain things. But if I do want the true answer, I'd rather go speak to an imam or a scholar, than rather than you reading certain things and think like this is what this means, and then talk yourself out of it. So that's something I always keep in mind. Like I'm not gonna try to like interpret it for my own understanding. I would rather go ask if I have to.
Anyone else?
Okay.
So a challenge I feel like as college students I feel like we have from within is it's never too late to seek knowledge. Doesn't matter how old you are, there's always room to learn, especially like Islam. Yeah.
I would say, adding on to that, when it comes to knowledge, like you gotta be careful where you getting your knowledge from, especially for someone who's learning. So everybody got their own opinion, which is fine. But when it comes to the book, the fiqh, the Quran, and the Hadith, you gotta really be careful where you're getting your knowledge from. That's where I have difficulties, but most of the time I just ask my local imam, the one I give my bait to, the one I call my imam. So that's why it's difficult for me personally.
Anyone want to add it from this side? Why you guys gonna? The question is, no, like, have you felt like sometimes just being Muslim, it could be like a trait from your family. It's not actually true. Or sometimes you question yourself about Islam or certain things about Islam.
I mean, there was a time period that I was kind of confused and conflicted. I think it's because like something big happened in my life where my dad passed away when I was really, really young. And not understanding really the concept of life and death and like the part of it, because I'm very naive that time, I kind of didn't understand why this was happening to me. And I felt as though like people were saying like pray and do all of this and make sure like, but I was still struggling with that internally. So like throughout the years I had like a little block where I let Islam in my heart, but at the same time I wasn't super passionate like I was when I was little, because that person in my life was gone. But I think like that was something that I had to kind of overcome through Islam, because I think it's important for, again, talking about mental health and whatnot, like giving people the opportunity to explore a little bit, because the way that I process things are quite different from how other people process things, right? So I kind of disassociated myself, but then I came back to it after like, revisiting the whole entire thing, internalizing what is true to me itself. So I think that like instead of being so closed off at first because you didn't know something or you didn't know why this was happening, I think you should dive a little bit more and give you that time to be by yourself and cope with it, but also not be closed off as much. So I think, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think thanks so much. I have a question. I know some of you already finished with college, but like I said in the beginning, this is mission. We have to do it together. That it comes to your mind while you're in college, you can bring somebody to Islam. Did it ever come to your mind during this your college time to let somebody come to the Islam? Did they ever think that one day?
When it comes to that, honestly, you could talk about it, have discussion with it. They still have their own opinion.
Mhm.
It just comes from one itself. Like they look how you are as a person, to your characteristics, how you carry yourself as a Muslim, how you are with people. From there, of course, even though they have opinion, they might question you. And you might do something that they really like and
Mhm.
might pull them toward Islam because you cannot force people.
No, no, no.
You cannot like trying to put them like, yo, Islam is, it gotta come from like how you are as a person,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, when it comes to that, I always uh, be mindful of how I am, how I speak to people, how I'm around people, how I'm carrying myself, and what I'm wearing, and my surrounding. You know, from there, they make their own judgment. That's how I see it.
Yeah. That's exactly how it is. Yeah. Islam is not force. You have to make sure to explain more, but that cannot happen until you have to. You also have to know, and which is called dawah. What to start with? It. Good example first. Nice talking. The all good character of the Islam, and also if you have intention that I'm going to the college. Yes, I went there to study to get my degree, but at the same time, I want to take advantage also to let somebody also can be Muslim. And then you don't have to worry about it. Somebody gonna turn you out for your religion because you now you want somebody to come. But if you don't have that, no plan, sometimes if you don't be careful, as he said, sometimes you're gonna become how called atheist or
Atheist.
atheist.
Yeah.
So, but if you ready to bring somebody, always strong. Nobody cannot turn you, but you always gonna try to bring somebody. So I want those who didn't go to the college yet, or those who in the college, always trying to get somebody. Inshallah, they're gonna be very great.
Alhamdulillah.
Mm.
So I've known a few people that converted to Islam, and I've asked them like what made them convert. So it was always about like they've been around like Muslims, and then how their actions, see how they move and how they respond to things, and they became so curious. Like these people are very nice people. Like so they started to talk to them about it, and they were open minded. So that's what you got to think about when you're speaking to somebody who's open minded about it, because some people are not. They just go is to trying to like because whatever it is they trying to do is like they just may be atheists and they just don't like religion, and their goal is trying to like get you out of character. So for the person that converted, he was just like, hey, I met this guy and he was really nice, how he moved, how he responded to things, and it just really made me curious, like, wow, Islam is like a very passionate religion. So from there he asked more questions and he fell in love with it. So from there he decided, like, what, I'm gonna I want to learn more. And they taught him how to, like, the Quran and stuff like that. But he did take a shahada when he went to the mosque with him. So from there, he was just like, I just kept learning, and here I am. Like, he knows how to read the Quran and all that stuff like that. So
All right. Okay. So we don't have much time, so we're gonna conclude very soon. Just one last question before Imam, if Imam has other questions, but I just have this one last question. The question is, do you have any questions about Islam yourself? Because you're supposed to be the beacon, you're supposed to be the
Papa
leader
John,
out there
Papa John.
to lead others to
It's
Islam.
Papa John.
But you have to be more knowledgeable. You have to know Islam yourself.
Let me send
You have to know certain basic about Islam
Papa John
in order to impress someone to come in, right? Besides your character, you still have to know. You have to have some basic knowledge. Is there any questions regarding Islam that would you like to ask? If you have one question that you want to know about Islam, is there any? We have Imam here; he could answer to that.
Yeah, for peace.
Any?
We tell them to.
Wow! So you know your religion, huh?
For peace.
If you say you have no question, I'm gonna quiz you before we close this.
Sora. It's 4 backs.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you have any questions, you don't have any questions.
fun.
Oh, when the camera's off. All right. So okay, I understand that. All right. If you
Yeah.
have questions, then you can ask later. Then I'm not gonna film it for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I know you be shy about
Yeah.
that. All right. So inshallah, I'm gonna give the mic to Imam. So thank you guys again for coming, and we learned so much from you guys. But my last question is again, what can we do as a community to help our youth that are attending college now, or that are leaving high school to go to college, or who just finished college? What do you guys think we could do? Because you are the ambassador. What do you think we could do right now to help the community?
Yeah. This is a very important question. Everybody, it is.
First thing, the elder people, y'all need to be more engaged with the youth. Second, I don't see a lot of y'all doing invest on the youth too. You know, not to put y'all out there, y'all stingy with money. So when it comes to that, y'all need to invest. That's how, like, when I see Asian Muslim community,
Mhm.
they're good at that, investing on the kid. You know, not only they trying to build,
What
uh,
kind of investment you mean?
like, when somebody go to college, they have difficulties with money. As a community, like, put a little money together, especially with somebody going away. Trying to keep in contact with them, put money together, and then invest in the future. Some people got difficulty paying the, like, financial aid, or some people, they have minor setback. They need help to boost so they could graduate. So when it comes, invest a little bit more. Programs, little programs, and like schools, and yeah, be engaged with the youth a little bit more. Don't try to be like, oh, I'm your elder, you gotta listen to me.
Mhm.
I'm no better than you. Okay, but you don't know what's going on
Mhm.
within, like, the youth. So
Right.
yeah, so invest mentally, physically, and then pocket wise.
Mashallah.
Well, I mean, adding on to like what he said too, I feel like y'all could instead of investing more in Africa, because y'all invest a lot in Africa, whether it's like sending money to build all of this stuff. If y'all invest here, like this, I was talking to like someone really really close to me about like how come we all have like multiple masjids? Why can't we make like a big like institution where you guys could have like the youth like learn Quran, Tawheed, fiqh, all of this.
Right.
If y'all do that from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, they're knowledgeable. But
Yeah.
we, like you said, stingy, selfish, and on top of that, when it comes to the males, like the not I'm not speaking, I'm not throwing shade, but like sometimes I feel like they're not what's the word? They're very selfish in the aspect of like when especially financially, where like when we need to like pay bills and stuff like that, they forget that we also in school. So that makes us not want to go obtain our bachelors, our associates, our masters, none of that stuff. So like now we're stuck to like doing the same jobs as like I said, no offense, like same jobs as you guys, like doing Uber, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you guys came here to give us a better future, so we could like keep y'all legacy alive, and also have our own legacy. But if y'all don't invest here first, like how you gonna invest home if you can invest over here first? Like I'm not saying you're not supposed to invest there, but you gotta. This is where we at right now. That's how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is something like you guys mentioned. I bring it up to Ustaz, sorry, Imam, like a few hours ago. I was talking about like there needs to be much investment going on, especially I feel like there needs to be programs like in regards to the youth. Maybe have our own little, like own little kind of family here or whatnot for the youth, especially, just to like bridge ideas and whatnot. I think there like needs to be more attention in regards to again like financial stuff and whatnot. I'm really big on mental health, and like I know some people who used to attend this mosque, and I know who are not a part of Islam anymore. And it's not saying it's your fault or anything, but I know that they were struggling mentally. So I think that's a big thing that we don't talk about, or that's kind of hidden under the rug a little bit. So there just needs to be more attention in regards to that in particular. But yeah, I think there just needs to be more engagement, especially with the little ones. and there just needs to be more attention overall in regards.
What do you think we should do to Muslims to better community? Come on, you gotta say something.
What was the question?
What do you think
Mhm.
we can do to better the community, to better
Oh.
our society?
Yeah, basically what she said, to like bring ourselves together, to spread our feelings and our ideas, to basically bring ourselves out there and like give each other a chance to like get to know each other better, and just show that we are like we can relate to each other's problems, and it'll just help more to show that you're not alone, you know. I feel like if we do like more like stuff like this, and people go away for college, they go away to college, they be like, they like what we're doing here, they'll want to like take it with them when they go away. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what I think we should do.
Go ahead. That's a few words. That's a few. You shot me. What?
I'm good.
So for me, I think like one of the issues is like the approach, because I know a lot of people, especially like the older heads, they mean well when it comes to the youth, but I believe is the way they approach the youth is like what makes the youth kind of distant from them. So I feel like if there's like an approach where like somebody who understands both worlds, like you understand your own culture and your own generation, and then the other generation. So it's two different generations. So a lot of things are different. A lot of things change. So just approaching it in a way where the person can understand it. Because I feel like if you understand something yourself, you're willing to change because you yourself as a person understood it. But somebody is like forcing it to you or like yelling at you, you may not want to do it just because the way the person approached you. So I feel like it's that, and like there's not a lot of unity, especially like where we're at. It's like different people, different mosques. They all have their own thing. They all follow their own stuff. So it's like a lot of separation. So I think a lot of these is confused, so they don't know what to follow because one mosque says this and the other mosque says that. So it's like not a lot of unity in the community. So that's what I think the issue is too. So yeah.
I think for the older guys, there should be more keeping up with the students that go to college, because when they leave, it's like they're gone. Nobody hear from them, right? Only people that probably know is their parents. You guys don't know anything. I think it needs to be some sort of way for you guys to also keep in touch with them, like trying to find out maybe when the semester ends, like, hey, can your son or daughter come in? I do want to know, like, how was the experience? So what can we do? Because when some of these kids go, they just on their own. They don't speak to anybody. They probably struggling with work. They don't have nobody to reach out to. And then, it doesn't help with their parents is probably thinking like, well, you're just not doing your work, because it's not that simple. Sometimes they just are struggling, right? But I definitely think there needs to also be a way for you guys to also keep in touch with them and constantly remind them, because it's easy for them to like also lose sight of like praying and all that stuff like that, because everything become overwhelming and they just pretty much just like, okay, it's whatever while they're over there. So I definitely think there needs to be a way for you guys to reach out to the parents to try to get in touch with them. So this way, this may help them. Maybe whatever it is they got to express, because like they mentioned, like there seems to be like a disconnect between even the older generation and the younger generation, because they're not going through the same exact thing. So they are facing different challenges. So it's better to know what they're going through and what you guys can do to actually help around that. Because sometimes it is a long distance. So, and they have nobody to speak to. So that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your answers. Inshallah, the Imam's going to conclude it. Thank you guys again for coming. Imam's going to conclude it, inshallah. So we are going to conclude it here, but we're just going to let the Imam conclude it, inshallah. And after that, if you have any questions, it's not going to be on camera, so for sure. All right. Imam.
Yeah, thank you again for answered the question we was looking for. Also, question I'm going to ask you to share ideas. So, what is your thinking now in our communities when it comes to the youth, the Islam of the youth? Is getting better or is getting worse when it comes to the young sisters and the brothers? What do you think?
You want an honest answer? So when y'all send them to like Saudi or like boarding schools, it's good. But when y'all leave them here, it's not good because like I said, when they go to like the Qadalahs here, bro, it's not like I don't really think like they're really learning a lot. They don't have like the motivation to learn. Maybe they don't get along with the ustad. So I personally feel like it's not like it does work, but after like they come to like a certain age, it's like they can do whatever they want. If they don't want to come, they don't have to come. So I don't really think it's like back then when I was going, it was good, but right now it's
You know what? You
no.
mean when it comes to the masjid, way they
Yeah.
just come when they reach
But
some
the
age.
parents also play a role in that as well too.
Yeah.
It's not just the imam, the ustad. It's
Mm-hmm.
also parents too. So if the parents are motivating them or they're doing their job as well too by making them come here,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a little bit better.
So
Yes.
you think the parents and the imams and the community must come together?
Everybody
Yes.
should come together. It's
Yes.
not just you can't just put the blame on one person. Everybody got to come
Yeah.
together. At the same time, too, it's also the person himself too, because you can't want it more than than him. If he wants it to, then he's gonna do it,
Exactly.
or she's gonna do it.
Yeah. So technically, you're saying we need to create a type of environment
Yeah.
to attract the kids to come.
Yeah,
Even be more eager to learn.
exactly. Because what you see with public school people, like they go, even though they don't want to go, they go. But with Fadullah, it's like I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else want to add to the questions?
I think nowadays, I think a lot of people believe in in a religion, but not a lot of people practice it. I think one of the reasons why a lot of people don't practice and things of that sort is just because of, I want to say, I guess the younger generation just looking up at like like us like graduating from college and things of that sort, and us not giving back to the younger generation. So I feel like especially in my generation, I feel like a lot of time we don't really speak to the youth that much. And I feel like the youth are the ones that's looking at us. Like they're not really looking at you all generation anymore. They looking up to us and things of that sort. So I feel like from us, like us growing up and things of that sort, we got to be that generation now to sit there and pass down these knowledges and be able to sit there and help the youth out and things of that sort. Because at the end of the day, we understand them way more
Yes.
than
The parent.
our parent generation, things of that sort. So I feel like from now on, instead of like like the imam and things of that sort having us like set these things up, we need to sit there and come as a community together and be able to sit there and set these things up for ourselves and be able to invite the younger generation and things of that sort. Because we all know we got younger siblings, we have younger cousins, we have younger things of that sort.
Right.
But how many of us do really sit there and sit down and really talk about why do you believe in your religion, like and things of that sort and things of that sort. Like we expect our parents and like whoever like we looked up to sit there and keep passing it on, but they're not gonna be here forever. We gotta sit there, we gotta be able to sit there and take that knowledge and be able to sit there and pass it down to us. So now we gotta start looking at ourselves now. Instead of sitting here looking at the older generation, we gotta start looking at ourselves and be like, okay, now it's time for us to step up.
Exactly. Thanks so much.